Hello everyone, and welcome back to Alternative Archaeology. Deep in the jungles of Chiapas in southern Mexico lies the ruins of a Maya site called Palenque. Often considered one of the greatest achievements of the culture, this city was known to its Mesoamerican builders as La Camha, meaning big water. According to archaeologists, the Maya began construction on the pyramids and structures that dot the site around 400 BC. It would go on to serve as a regional centre until the area was eventually abandoned in the 9th century. While no one argues with the idea that the vast majority of the structures were in fact built by the Maya, a few megalithic anomalies may suggest that a far more ancient culture once thrived here. These people could work, cut and move enormous blocks of limestone and didn't require the use of mortar. Join me in this video as we explore the possibility that Palenque was inhabited at a time before the Maya. Inscriptions found throughout the ancient city have helped researchers to reconstruct the past of Palenque. They have even provided us with a great kings list, and the most famous of all was a Maya ruler known as Pakal the Great. According to the records, Pakal ascended to the throne in 615 AD when he was just 12 years old. This was less than 2 decades after Palenque was defeated in battle by Calakmul, a rival Maya kingdom. Some researchers have suggested that Pakal's father was a noble of foreign origin and installed his son to rule as a puppet for the state of Calakmul. Nonetheless, under Pakal's rule, Palenque reached its greatest prosperity during the 7th century. But it seems that after his passing in 683, the city entered into a sharp decline, one from which it would never truly recover. By the 9th century, the once great settlement was completely abandoned. It would remain among the jungles of Chiapas for centuries. Eventually, it was rediscovered by Father Pedro Lorenzo de la Nada in 1567. What the Maya were able to achieve at Palenque is truly mesmerising. Using extensive planning techniques and a simple method of construction, they were able to create some of the largest pyramids on the planet. The structures are made up of small and dressed stones and held together by limestone mortar. From a distance, one stands in awe at the sheer size of the buildings. However, the Maya knew that the fine detailing wasn't perfect. This led them to cover the internal walls and many pillars in stucco, to both hide the rough work underneath and to give them a surface to etch their hieroglyphs onto. But at a closer inspection of the site, we find various telltale signs of advanced construction methods that are not typical of the Maya. Precisely cut megalithic slabs of limestone are found all throughout the site and may suggest that an unknown culture inhabited the area before the Maya. Our first promising piece of evidence to suggest the Maya may have inherited Palenque from an older culture is found close to the centre of the site. Just south of the Great Palace lies an unusual pyramid-like structure known today as Temple X. Even from a distance, one can observe this structure is unlike anything else found at the site. As you approach it, you are immediately taken back by the unusual megalithic blocks that form some kind of staircase to a smaller platform above. On either side of the structure, the stones are laid out in a diagonal-like fashion and greatly resemble some kind of ancient pyramid. The enormous blocks are clearly much larger than those used by the Maya around the rest of the site. If we compare these megaliths at the base of Temple X to the Maya work on the higher platforms, it seems clear that we're dealing with two separate cultures. The top layer of construction consists of smallish, rough boulders held together by limestone mortar, a method typical of the Maya. However, at the base we witness enormous stones that weigh at least a ton each. And they also appear to have been cut and shaped into approximately the same size. On the far right side of Temple X, The remains of an unusual carving of a figure can be seen on one of the megaliths. Unfortunately, the stone is greatly weathered and it is but a shadow of its ancient self. Could this have been left behind by the ancient builders, or was it a later addition by the Maya? Nonetheless, Temple X is certainly unique and forces us to again ask the question, did the Maya build this megalithic structure, or was it the product of an earlier civilization? Temple X isn't the only part of Palenque where we find evidence of megalithic construction techniques. At the southwestern corner of Pacal's palace, we see enormous foundations that may have formed the base of an ancient pyramid or platform. From this corner, a wall runs along the entire southern side of the palace. Here we can observe a unique and fascinating style of masonry that's far superior to that of the Maya. Megalithic blocks of limestone are cut and placed in an exquisite fashion without the use of mortar. Many of the stones weigh in excess of a few tons and show clear signs of an advanced form of construction, which again the Maya are not known for. The megalithic wall is separated by a series of steps that leads into the courtyard of the palace. On the southeastern side, we find more of the large limestone blocks that fit perfectly together without the use of mortar. Here we see a beautiful reminder of how the structure may have once looked in its prime. Even though most of the southern wall is now in a state of disrepair, it's visibly clear that it would have once been a very unique structure. The precise cuts and techniques employed in the construction of the megalithic wall force us to consider the possibility that the Maya simply inherited the site. While you may be asking yourself, well, couldn't the Maya have been the ones behind the megalithic work? It's certainly possible, but very unlikely. If they were behind the megalithic foundation work, wouldn't they have employed this technique for the entirety of the palace and not just the southern wall? While they were great engineers, the Maya never built megalithic structures. This is evident as we don't see any similar work at contemporary Maya sites. A theory put forth by researchers in recent years is that the Maya found Palenque in an abandoned state. It's possible the area was hit with some kind of cataclysm in the deep past which would have broken up parts of this once great wall. So then, the final question remains, who inhabited Palenque before the Maya, and where did that culture go? And what can surviving legends of an ancient race of seafarers tell us about the original builders of Palenque? Mysterious inscriptions found at Palenque speak of a divine lineage that ruled over the site for thousands of years before the Maya. The first divine ruler of the area was known as Muwan Mat, who ascended to the throne over 5,000 years ago. Muwan and his people are said to have come from a distant land called Matwil. While nothing of this ancient land is known, another name that often appears in the inscriptions is Toktan, meaning the centre of mist. It's certainly possible that the two places are related, but this isn't the only evidence we have that speaks of an ancient civilization thriving at Palenque before the Maya. A no less interesting story was written down in the 17th century by the then Bishop of Chiapas, Francisco Núñez de la Vega. According to Francisco's writings, which he sourced from the sacred books of the Tzeltal Maya, the site of Palenque was once inhabited by a foreign race they called the Canes. According to the legends of the Tzeltal Maya, Palenque was originally known as Nakan, or City of the Snakes. It was built under the guidance of a prophet known as Votan, who later went on to found the empire of the Tzeltal people called Xibalba. It's said the mysterious Canes and their leader Votan came from an island kingdom located beyond the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, known as Valam Votan. Could Nakan have been an ancient settlement at Palenque, at a time before the rise of the classical Maya? Is Valam-Votan the same as the mysterious land of Matwil? And could these ancient peoples have been the original megalithic builders of Palenque? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. As always, thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.